All right, let's break down a truly famous financial framework designed to help you escape that stressful paycheck-to-paycheck cycle and do it without feeling totally overwhelmed. Specifically, in this explainer, we're diving into Lesson 3 from Robert Kiyosaki's incredibly influential book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which is titled Mind Your Own Business. Let's just get right into it.
So think about this for a second. Are you working for money, or is your money actually working for you? It's a provocative question, right? And it completely challenges that traditional, quote-unquote, safe narrative of simply going to school, getting a good job, and just hoping that a monthly salary will eventually make you wealthy. Really, it's a lens through which we should evaluate our entire financial lives.
And that brings us to a massive paradigm shift. The rich don't work for money. They make money work for them. Moving from an employee mindset over to a wealth owner mindset is what this entire philosophy is built upon. Because it's not necessarily about how much you earn sitting at your desk, but how you manage, direct, and actually multiply those earnings once they hit your bank account. Section 1. The Rat Race Illusion. So, why do so many incredibly smart, hardworking folks get stuck in this rat race for literally decades? Well, it usually comes down to buying liabilities that are cleverly disguised as assets. People just fall into this trap of going into massive debt for things they genuinely believe build wealth. Like upgrading to a massive primary home or buying a luxury car. But in reality, they're actually compromising their long-term financial security. They earn more just to spend more on things that require upkeep and constantly drain their pockets. Honestly, it's like running on a treadmill that keeps speeding up, but you're the one paying for the electricity. Let's move along to Section 2, Profession versus Business. There is a really vital difference between what you do all day and what actually builds your personal wealth. See, your profession is simply the activity you do to pay your daily expenses. You might be an engineer, a doctor, a mechanic, or an executive. But your business? That's the vehicle that helps you accumulate real wealth. Working for someone else pays today's bills, sure, but building your own asset column is what secures your tomorrow. Often, people completely confuse their profession with their business, and they end up spending their entire lives minding someone else's business and basically just making their boss rich.
Now, before anyone panics and hands in their 2 weeks' notice, keep your day job. You absolutely don't need to quit your profession today to start minding your own business. In fact, the most highly encouraged advice here is to use that stable salary to calmly and consistently start funding your business. Think of your day job as your seed capital. Keep working hard, for sure, but start directing your excess cash into your true wealth builder.
Section 3. Assets versus Liabilities. All right, so to fund that business of yours, you need to know exactly what you're buying. And thankfully, Kiyosaki strips away all that confusing, boring accounting jargon. An asset is simply everything that puts money in your pocket, and a liability is everything that takes money out of your pocket. It is literally that straightforward. Assets generate positive cash flow, liabilities just drain your resources. Basically, if you were to stop working today, an asset is going to feed you. A liability, well, that's going to eat you.
Let's put this to the test. Ask yourself, is a beach house an asset? Say you have a second home on the beach that you use maybe 30 days out of the year. Most people instinctively call that an asset. But if we apply our new definition, that purchase involves a massive outflow of money to acquire it, followed by just endless expenses to maintain it, pay taxes on it, and insure it against the inevitable hurricane. So it's a classic liability cleverly disguised as an asset. Honestly, if you run the numbers, it might actually be 100% smarter and way less stressful to just rent a hotel room for those 30 days.
Which brings us to Section 4, Build Your Asset Column.
So, if we're keeping our day jobs and we're avoiding those sneaky liabilities, what exactly should we be buying? Well, here are some tangible, accessible vehicles that pretty much anyone can start acquiring to build a portfolio that appreciates and actually generates income. We're talking real estate that generates rent, stocks and mutual funds, bonds producing interest, intellectual property yielding royalties, like, say, writing a book or creating a piece of software, and businesses that operate without your active presence. These are your true assets. You acquire them once, and they literally go to work for you 24/7. And finally, Section 5, Steps to Financial Freedom. Now that we know the vehicles, here's a progressive, highly encouraging blueprint for really taking control of your financial life. Step 1. Prioritize buying assets. Before upgrading your car or expanding your house, think about investing that cash into one of the vehicles we just talked about. Step 2. Reduce liabilities to an absolute minimum. Avoid unnecessary debt that offers zero financial return and chip away at the ones you already have. Step 3. Reinvest your profits. This is kind of the magic step. Instead of just increasing your consumption when your assets pay you, use that extra money to buy even more assets. It creates this powerful, virtuous cycle of growth. And finally, step 4, educate your financial mind. The main difference between folks who achieve financial freedom and those who don't is simply their capacity to understand and manage money intelligently. As we wrap up this explainer, I really want you to remember this core truth. Lack of money is not a problem, it is a mindset. Financial independence isn't about the sheer size of the salary you're earning at your profession. It's about how intelligently you manage, save, and invest whatever amount of money flows through your hands. So I'm going to leave you with one final provocative question, one you can literally carry with you every single day. Will this next purchase put money in my pocket or take it out? I highly challenge you to look at every future financial decision you make, big or small, through this simple, life-changing lens. Because financial freedom is a journey, not a destination, and it starts with the constant, proactive choice to build assets. Thanks so much for learning with me today, and I'll leave you to ponder that thought.